Welcome back, Mr. Kohli.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'll just like to make a few recap before we proceed to the next batch of questions. Before the break, you told us that on the 11th of November at around 9 a.m., where you were standing at the clinic, you saw some vehicles with a truck coming in and they packed around Officer's Mess. Shortly after, you had a gunshot. You decided to take your rifle and go out to see what was happening. And as you were moving towards the sound, you saw Fafanyang. And then you had a shot. You said you ran to help him, but accidentally, your rifle fired a shot which landed on him, on his face to be precise. We had gone through what the operation of the rifle would have required for a shot to be in the direction of Fafanyang at that point. And we had also gone through the position where his body laid and where you were. I'll just have a few questions also around that area for you to answer.
Okay.
Just to take you back a bit, on that particular day when you decided to go out from the clinic and go see where the noise was coming from, apart from your weapon, did you have your medic kit with you since you were medic at that time?
I didn't have my medical kits simply because first coming out of the clinic was not prepared to say I knew somebody is injured, so I should go with it. And the distance between where the event happened and the clinic was so short that anything I can easily evacuate and then reach the clinic at a very short time.
At the point where you saw Fafanyang fall down, did you have any medical kit with you?
No, ma'am.
Now, prior to you seeing Fafanyang falling down and when you were coming from the clinic, did you, apart from the gunshot, did you see or hear anything?
Yes. Prior to seeing Fafanyang on the ground, I heard a voice that resembled somebody I know. And the voice resembles Lieutenant Sana Sabali's voice, saying, "Get him."
What did you understand by get him?
Get him can mean then. Get him can mean gun him down.
You hearing the voice saying, "Get him,"
Yes, ma'am.
gun him down. And at that time, was Fafanyang still walking away or was he running at that time?
He was running. That coincided with his run. I saw him cross my arc where I pointed to, where I'm going to. I saw him cross, and then prior to seeing him cross, I heard this word, "Get him." And then Fafanyang he was also walking fast to cross, and then seeing him flash in front of me, and the gunshot all went together. And then when I come out fully, I saw him on the ground. That's the time I had that intention to rush to him to help.
Will I be correct to say that you hearing the voice saying, "Get him," in your mind it represented danger?
Yes, ma'am.
And your first instinct at that time, knowing that there was danger ahead, your first instinct, you're telling us, it was to go towards that danger. Am I correct?
The danger, I was going out, my instinct was to go out to see because when I had the first gunshots, and I was still coming, when I came out, on my way coming out, before reaching out, I had that, but I had that words, "Get him." But then, even whereby at the time when I heard that word, get him, even whereby somebody fired, it will not have an effect on me because there are a block in between. And the direction, and I'm not on the, I ride directly on the arc, on the area where those standing, the group I saw standing when I come out fully, where they are standing, if they were to fire, their fire will not have effect on me because there are blocks in between at the time when I heard the word, get him.
But you heard the shot first before you moved, right?
Yes, I heard this shot before I come out fully to the open, whereby if there is another, if there was a shot, if that shot was for me, it will get me because I had that shot first before me. I come out of the defensive blocks that can prevent a round from getting me.
Now, coming back to the scene where Fafanyang was lying down and where you were at that point, you told us that you had a voice saying, "Get out of there."
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know whose voice that was?
This voice resembled the same voice that I had.
Can you tell us, please, whose voice that was?
And I speculate that that voice really resembles the voice of Sana Sabali, Lieutenant Sana Sabali.
At this point, did you see anyone around?
Anyone around? Yes, because I saw, when I looked into the group where those voices come from, when I turned back, when his voice get away from there, so I was so regretful. Coming back, I looked again to the group where that voice come from, and then I had in my mind, why and who must be that person, and why is he telling me to move out from there? So long there is no other second shot that came. It was that shot and my discharge. Then I had no other shot again. So.
Sorry for speaking while you were speaking. Earlier you mentioned that you recognized the voice as Sana Sabali's voice. Am I correct?
Right, sir. No.
So apart from Sana Sabali's voice, did you see anyone or recognize anyone from the group that was coming?
Yes, I saw Lieutenant Edward Singate and Lieutenant Sadibu Haidara. I can remember seeing them.
You said it was a crowd.
Yes.
So who else can you recognize from the crowd?
Because these people, why I recognize them, because they were standing at the forefront of the crowd.
Who else did you see?
I saw these three people with Peter Singate. Lieutenant Sana Sabali, Lieutenant Peter Singate, Lieutenant Sadibu Haidara. These are the people as I can remember, these are the people I can see.
Can you recall how they were? Like, describe the mood they were in.
They were so dangerous.
Please explain.
Because they were so furious. Looking at them, me as a junior soldier at that time, if I look at their faces, I don't dare not to stay even for 3 minutes, neither to look back to them again because of fear.
Did they have any weapons with them?
Yes, ma, they had their weapons, pistols with them.
Apart from the pistol, did they have any other weapon with them?
Well, they have, because Lieutenant Edward Singate was having a pistol, and also he was having, I saw an AK-47, but this is the latest AK-47 that goes along with a grenade propeller.
How about the other soldiers in the crowd? Did they also have weapons with them?
Yes, in that crowd, some of them have weapons with them, but I cannot recall who and as to who and who of them, because the mood I was very difficult to remember.
Where exactly did you see the weapons on them?
On their hands, they were handling their weapons.
Was it at the position of firing, like when you're firing a weapon, or was it at a relaxed position?
Well, I can say it was, some of them were handling their guns at ready point. Some of them were handling like their weapons like somebody who have been handling a weapon for long, so you just relax your hands. That's why that's the mood. But I cannot remember exactly, I cannot explain exactly, because simply of the fact that the mood I was. It's terrible.
When you were there, can you please tell us what Fafanyang was wearing while lying down on the ground?
Fafanyang was wearing a trouser. But fully, I cannot, and a shirt, but I cannot remember. I think he was wearing a banyan, but this banyan, whether military or civil banyan, I cannot remember, I cannot recall fully because it's a long time. But Fafanyang was dressed with a trouser and a banyan. This I cannot remember fully, whether it is military or civil.
Can you tell us what a banyan is, please?
That's a T-shirt that we put in, like this, the type I have. The inner shirt is, in military we call it a banyan, that we wear under the uniform. But it could be military, like this type that I'm issued, military, or you can buy a similar T-shirt like this from the market.
So when you heard the voice, Sana's voice telling you, get out of there, what did you do?
I have to get back from there, but regretting, and too, I don't like it. But the way Sana was, I'm there not to force my way. Because I see that, I thank God that he even sympathized me by telling me, get out from there. He could have just cleared me all along together. But I think it was a sympathy that came into him, that he only advised me to get out from there, urged me to get out from there, of which I did.
Apart from Sana, did anyone else speak to you in that crowd?
No, ma.
So when he said, get out of there, you got out of there, what did you do?
I went back to the clinic there. I stayed for the whole time, all day.
Did anyone question you as to what happened?
Ma, since that day up to date, nobody has ever questioned me as to the discharge that happened, that come from my weapon. I don't know. Probably it is due to the tense of the situation then. But I don't know why. But nobody questioned me on that issue up till now.
How about the council members?
None of them questioned me, because since we part from that day, only either I heard them speaking, or I met up with them in other gatherings, or I see them in other gatherings that I may opportune to attend. Like sometimes when they are coming in to meet officers or to do anything, they will visit camps. Sometimes I opportune to see them passing, but I don't have any interaction with them since then.
When you got back to the clinic, did you discuss this with anyone?
I have never discussed this with anyone until this time that I am called by the council.
Apart from the incident, the killing of Fafanyang, did you hear any other gunshots, or did you witness any other killings at the camp that day?
On that day, apart from that of Fafanyang that I saw, but on that day I didn't hear of another, I didn't see any other person being killed, neither to hear about other killings, except few days after, when I heard that some other soldiers were captured, being detained, and then later taken out to the bush and killed. But from that, I cannot tell I don't know where their remains, including that of the remain of Fafanyang. I couldn't know where the remains of these people, together with the remains of my colleague Fafanyang, where they are laid up till date. I cannot tell you. I cannot know. I don't know.
Did you observe or see anything unusual on that particular day at the camp?
At the camp, because when that happened to me, I went back to the camp. I feel that I am, the situation, the mood I was, then I feel I am not even fit to go out to associate with people. I was all alone crying at myself in the clinic. When I had somebody moving, I just wipe up my face and then behave, and then try to bring up myself in order to avoid that person knowing that I'm deeply regretting and I'm deeply crying. So I force myself to comport myself to talk to you anything that you want to talk with me. And after that, when you go, I hide back. Sometimes I enter the store, cry all by myself. And this has happened. It took me about 3 to 6 weeks before I could come up to myself and then consider myself a normal human being interacting with people.
Now, from the medical unit to the guard room, could you see what was going on at the guard room?
No, ma, because the guard room entrance gives its back to the clinic. The row of buildings where the clinic is behind the row of the guard room, the row of blocks at the guard room. So if something can be happening at the guard room, you sitting at the clinic, you cannot see.
Subsequently, did you hear of soldiers being arrested or detained?
Yes, ma.
How did you hear of it?
I heard it from colleagues at chat places when they come to the clinic, because mostly when I'm at the clinic, we don't go out to meet our colleagues at their guard posts to chat. But most of them, when those that are free and they are not engaged in anything, do come to us, meet us at the clinic, and then we chat. Some will come to explain about their body situations. Some will come to ask about health issues, and some will come to claim for medical assistance.
During that time, did you attend to any injured soldiers?
Well, during that time, yes, because few days after hearing that some other soldiers were detained and some were killed, I came to attend. Somebody who was also injured was brought to the clinic, and this happened to be he was a Lance Corporal by then, Lance Corporal Kebe Amadou. Presently, I learned he was working with the Gambia Ports Authority, but he was brought. I saw him with a gunshot wound on the thigh, but because of the severity of the wound, I tend to only do a little first aid and then have him referred to the RVTH, which is now Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital.
Can you describe the severity of his injury?
Yes, because there was a lot of blood that was flowing out, and he was not cared. He was just packed like that in the shells. They brought him. They told me that he was brought from the cell to us.
Who brought him to you?
I cannot remember exactly, but the provost who were at the camp, who were at the guard room at then, that is the regimental police, RPs, we call them RP, regimental police. I cannot remember fully, but one I can remember is late. I can say up to 2. That is, and both of them are late. That is Fafa Job, a squad mate, and one Tamba. But both these two that I can remember are all late.
Where was the blood coming from exactly from his body?
From Amadou Kebe's body. Okay, from the from the thigh, and then he was having a trouser on top. Then blood was flowing from both the entrance and the exit of the blood.
Were you able to determine the cause of the injury?
Well, he told me he had a gunshot. By who, he didn't tell me, because then I was not interested to know who fired him. My interest was to give him little first aid that he can be referred to the hospital, and this was what I did.
Now, after these particular incidents that you've just narrated, did you remain at the clinic and at the camp you were in?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your rank change afterward?
Never. Since 1994, I was a private soldier and already serving 4 years, but I am never promoted till 1997, July 1st, when I was given my first rank as a lance corporal. And according to the terms and conditions of services, I should serve, promotion should be from private soldier to corporal. I should serve, to private soldier to lance corporal. I should serve 2 years after recruitment. I should serve 2 years, then to a lance corporal, and between lance corporal to corporal should also have 2 years. So if things were going well, I would have been a corporal in 1994, ma'am.
Were you, sorry, at that point, were you still at Jindum Barracks?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you still attached to the medic unit?
Yes, ma'am. Until I was still attached to the medical unit until year 2002, when I decided to pursue a government recognized certificate at the SEN school in Bansang. Because the provokes that I do have was, despite all your experience, your certificate is not recognized. Your certificate is not recognized by the government, and this was the work mission certificate that I had, despite all the experiences. So this compelled me to pursue for the government recognized certificate.
You've told this commission that your bullet was the one that landed on Fafanyang.
Yes, ma'am.
After Fafanyang's incident, after the killing of Fafanyang, did you at any point go to the family to explain what happened?
Well, this was my intention, to see the family, but then I thought to myself, I don't know where exactly the family was staying after the demise of Fafanyang. And I don't know what gravity of their sorrow. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. I don't know what gravity would be with the family at then. So it was impossible, because I have no mediator that can mediate to give me access to apologize to the family. This is why I didn't go to them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kohli, for answering my questions. Mr. Chairman, I have asked all the questions that I wanted to. I'll shift the floor now to the commissioners.
Thank you very much, Emma Council, for that. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Commissioner Jones, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioner Jones. Warrant Officer Kohli.
Sir?
At what point did you know it was Fafanyang laying on the ground?
Pardon?
At what point did you know it was Fafanyang laying on the ground?
Because I saw him when he was standing on his foot walking, and Fafanyang was somebody who is not a stranger to me. So if I see him crossing, I would identify that it is Fafanyang. And secondly, remember, I told you I rushed towards him. Then I got more closer to him, because their intention of going towards him is in order to give him the help.
So does that mean you therefore saw him before he was shot?
Yes, I saw him cross before hearing the shot that hit him down.
But you did not see who shot him?
I did not see who shot him, ma.
Okay, my final question, at what point did you know he was dead?
Well, I can say, I to myself, I take it to myself that he is dead when I saw that the discharge bullet that came from my weapon landed on his face, and I saw blood also oozing from the face. Then I said to myself, this is not, my target has failed, and this man will not make it, because he is bleeding too much. Even if the round didn't land anywhere, but the bleeding from him, definitely he couldn't have made it. If that was help, yes, we expect little thing. But
Sir.
without help, I know he wouldn't make it.
Sorry, just one additional question. Did you ever inquire what happened to his corpse?
This, I never inquired, but I don't know what happened to his corpse.
Thank you very much. If there are no further questions, Imam Jallo, you have the floor, please.
Mr. Kohli,
Yes, sir.
the able council has cleared the questions I wanted to ask. Those were those two questions. But I have one more question for you. I think I heard you say that you don't know who the camp commander was at that material time. Do you still maintain that really? That you don't know who the camp commander was at that time?
I cannot recall who the camp commander was at then, because since then, so many commanders have been coming and going, been changing.
Musona Imam si Koli.
Sir,
Kan mo la joxoon ndigal nga rey Fafanyang? Kan mo la ko santoon mo la waxoon fetel ko?
ken man suma bopa ken waxut ma ne fetel la ko.
Kon def la rombo rek nga fetel ko ci ngam mu daanu.
Man feteluma ko mu daanu. Li xew mooy Fafa dama dégga fi council members yi taxawoon foofu bor bu mu jógee ma dégga ñuy wax foofu, ma dégga baat buy wax foofu ne get him. I don't know how to explain that. Nu munuma explain ci Olof waaye get him dégga naa ko si baat bu niroo baat si baat.
Someone saying that get him. I heard somebody making the statement.
Ki la waxoon bool move kooku kan la? Ki la waxoon bool ko move?
Ki waxoon bu ma dem foofu.
The one that told you to not move, who was he?
This is the voice of Sana Sabali, Lieutenant Sana Sabali. And it resembles the same words that said, get him, resembles him also.
Ñaareel bi ñoom ñi nga
Second
ñoom ñett bi li nga wax ne gis nga leen ñemewuloo leen.
Those three that you said you saw them, but you are so scared of them.
Naka nga doon demee ci moom pour faj ko?
How was it that you were going to render him assistance?
Ñoom ñoo digal ne kii nañ ko rey.
Even that they gave the instructions for him to be killed.
Wow.
Yes.
Li xew mooy
What happened was,
man pour dimbale ñi feebar ak ñi gaañu ak ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi tëdda wala ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi feebar di dem ak a ñëw.
I give assistance to those that are sick, those that are laying down. That is what I do.
Okay. So loolu moo tax Fafa bu ñu gisee ne bi ma déggee Get Him ma ñu fete ma dégg bal bi ne taj.
Which was why when I heard the statement Get Him and I heard the shot rang.
mu tombé nag ma génn bi ma génnee si leer bi si.
That coincided with my coming out.
ma gis ne ki tëdda ki ñu daaneel Fafanyang mi romba.
When I
moom
saw
laa
that
seen nii mu
the
daanu.
one that was on the ground was the Fafanyang that just passed by.
So si loolu ma jóg ma dem. ma ne xaaral ma dimbale ko because déggaatuma beneen bal buy soxa.
And said, let me go and
foofu
help
li ma fa
him.
jël.
At that time, I didn't hear any other gunshot.
So su ma dem bi foofu.
So my
Si kaw
going
ne.
there was on the basis that
si kaw ne dëgga su ma liggéey dama ko war a def.
that I had to do my
Sakatuma su ma
responsibilities.
gisee
I have
koo
to do
xam
my
ne
job, especially when I see someone that is
koo xam ne maa moom ñoo bokk liggéey te xamante nañu.
someone that I work with and we are acquainted.
ma gis ko mu daanu.
Seeing him fallen,
te man duma war a taxaw ma xool ko noonu ba mu sedda.
I couldn't stand by and watch him to die.
waaye yàlla def ci kaw xalaat boobu maa doon dem.
But as God will have it, as I was going,
te suma fetel bi baa ngi woon suma kaw suma loxo ma téye.
I had my weapon in my hands.
so pour ma daw fetel bi yëngu-yëngu bi dafay bëri du def ma doon galandeku du pour dem bi gaaw.
As I was rushing towards him, my gun was dangling and it was obstructing my movement.
ma ne ma jël suma loxo yi ba war a téye fetel bi pour mu mën a yem suma yaram.
So
mu bañ a yëngatu pour ma mun a gaaw a egg ci
gripped
moom.
my weapon to make sure that it does not disturb my movement.
ci diir boobu.
So in that process,
xam naa si diir boobu la suma loxo.
I think it was during that attempt to hold my gun.
suma loxo dugga si.
My hand
place boo xam ne
somehow
foofu su fa loxo laale rek fetel bi dafay tàkk.
touch the trigger and
so bi loolu amee.
led to the outburst of fire.
bi ma déggee suma bal bi tàkka.
So when I heard this gunshot,
my own gun. bi ma déggee bal bi suma fetel bi bal bi soxeeku na.
when I heard this release of fire from my gun, I looked
ma gis ne Fafanyang bi ma doon bugg a dimbale.
so that the Fafanyang
gis
that
naa
I
beneen yokku si gaañuwaam bi
wanted
loolu
to
mooy deret baa ngi doon
assist,
génn si kanamam fu boor bi nga xam ne
was,
foofu la suma bal bi
being
la
hit
daanu si kawam fekka fu mu tëdda mu daanu si
by
kawam.
my shot and he was bleeding.
loolu métti na ma.
That
discourage na.
has been something very
rëccu naa ko.
troubling for me.
ndig
I regretted it because
ene bi tax ma dem foofu.
the intention
yàlla
that
def
I
naa boobu
had
mënut a
to
sotteeku
go
mënut a
towards
sotti
him
because si li tax ma dem ci moom mooy
got made it such that
pour ma mun a
it did
seet
not succeed.
ndimbal bu ma ko mun a def te wóor na ma ne.
My intention was to render him assistance, and I'm certain
te wóor na ma ne si diggante boobu su fekkoon ne yàlla def na jot naa
in the
Fafa
midst
si
of
suma loxo
what was
ba indi
happening,
ko.
if I had access to him and held him, took him back to,
waxuma ne dinaa ko
clinic.
jógloo de.
I cannot say that I would have
waaye
revived
ci
him,
ndimbali lopitaan yi ak docteur yi.
but I believe with the assistance of the clinic
Yaakaar
and
naa ne.
the doctors,
yaakaar naa ne
I believe
Fafa dina doon
Fafa
jóg
would have
waaye yàlla aatewu ko. yàlla def
Not
man mi
died,
am
but,
demoon pour dimbale ko.
as God
gaañoo
have
pour
it,
mu jeex.
he did not make it.
ci suma fetel la jógee loolu rëcc naa ko
But,
torop.
I regret that the assistance I
ba
wanted to
tey
give
maa
him
ngi koo jooy.
ended up with my gun being
loolu moo tax
fired
bi ma
on him.
déggee oo nañ ma commission bi oo nañ ma pour
Which is
ñu
why
bëgg ma
when
ñëw
I
fii.
heard that this commission called me,
xal naa ci sant yàlla tuuti ma xalaat ne waaw
somehow
xëy na
thank God.
xëy na
said,
li ma doon ñaan
maybe what I had been praying for,
pour ma mun a am jégalu ci yàlla
to have forgiveness from
am
God,
jégalu si waa Gambia yi
To have forgiveness from the people of the Gambia
am jégalu si famille Fafa Ñang bi.
and the family of
ma
Fafa Jang.
kontaan torop am nga nekkut kontaan te liw nit war a
I was
kontaan waaye nag
pleased
boo
that,
gisee ne
this
am nga
was
yoon
not,
boo mun a
happiness that someone can
jàkkaarloo ak
feel.
nit ñi ngeen waxtaan jégalu mun see xeej.
But it's one that
Nga
comes with
kontaan
knowing
because
that
yàlla si
there
boppam
is
loolu
the
la bugga.
possibility of meeting with people and discussing
Man,
and
jébalu bi
having
may wut.
understanding. And the forgiveness that I seek,
xam naa ne su
I
fekkoon ne
know that,
njobooti Fafa Ñang
if
gisuñ ma
the
musuñ maa
families
him ñoom
of Fafa Jang never saw me,
su fekkee musuñ maa gis musuñ maa baal
if they never saw me, never forgiven me,
den yàlla si boppam du ma jégal
then God will not forgive me.
pour ma mun a am jégal mu yàlla
But to attain God's
foog ma
forgiveness,
uti jégali su ma joboot
I
ñu man suma
must
boppa
seek the
ak
forgiveness of
jégali
my
jobooti Fafa
family
Ñang ma
and
mun
the
ak jobooti
family
réewum
of Fafa
Gambia
Ñang and
ma mun a am
the
jégalu
entire
yàlla
Gambian
maa ngi nii
family
si loolu laa nekk di
to
sàkku
have God's forgiveness, and this is what I seek.
Thank you. Bishop, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Lamin Koli,
yes sir.
what did you do when you realized that, according to you, your gun had an accidental discharge that shot Fafa Ñang? What did you do?
I couldn't do anything because I was denied to further continue to reach Fafa Ñang. So only I could do is to retire remotely to the clinic, of which I did.
Don't you think it is rather strange for you not to have offered any help at that material moment in time when your original intention was to go and assist the person who was shot down?
Yes, that was my intention. But remember, I am saying that my intention was denied because I talk of somebody here who I first described as a wildfire, and I first said I scared him very well, very much, and he is the very person who shouted, "Move out from there." So then there, my mission and my intention all failed because I cannot go beyond that. I may also be ground like the person that I was trying to, that I intended to help.
Thank you. Commissioner Kinte.
Koli, once more, you were asked whether you know where the dead bodies were placed. If I remember, you answered in the negative. I would wonder because we understand those bodies were buried in the military camp itself at Yundum, at the barracks. So maybe not immediately, but over time, all soldiers of that camp would know where these people were buried. Am I right?
Yes, we will hear that they are buried in the camp. But for me, it was not thing that would urgently push me to go and see, because remember, I was in a panic mood and I was in a regrettive mood. So going after the event, what my mission was, why my intention was already denied and I failed. So I see no reason why it could compel me to go and follow to see where the hole where he was buried. Because if that, it will just keep on reminding me of which it was giving me so much trouble. So to avoid more trouble that can even get me out of a normal human being. So I reserve myself.
No, what I mean, after 20-something years, you still could not confirm, you still could not, while walking, have a glance and say, this is the place they said they were buried. And you can answer today that you don't know where they are buried.
Yes, nobody pointed to me that this is the actual place where they are buried up till now.
Thank you very much, Warrant Officer Colley. If there are no further questions from Council, can he make his concluding remarks now?
Okay, Mr.
We
Chairman.
continue. Is that all right?
That'll be okay.
Splendid. Officer Colley, you have any concluding remarks to make? If you do, please proceed.
No, about the conclusion. It's okay, sir. It's okay.
Thank you very much indeed, for coming to testify before us, and we thank you very much. Council, do we have a witness lined up for the afternoon session?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have a witness. By 2:30, the witness will be prepared to testify.
Wonderful. Okay. We meet again at 2:30. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much.